All right, up and live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Thursday night Top 5 Baits. Talk about what's going on right now around these East Texas lakes, and specifically Lake Fork. When you get in here tonight, drop a comment. Let me know you're here. If you have questions, drop them in. I'll answer as many as I can as we go along here. But man, cold front came through, moved a lot of fish, set them up in some good areas. Lots of bait really starting to stack in there with them. It's getting good. It's not real good yet. Like it's okay. It's better than it has been, but it's going to get better and better every day. Another front coming soon. The fall bite's getting ready to jump off. It's fixing to be a lot of fun from now until 1st of December or so. So really looking forward to progress into the fall. Kevin Van Dam's here tonight. Well, let's try this one more time. Hopefully this will hold up better. Man, I hope it's not a repeat of last week. I don't know what's going on. I'm about to fire my internet service provider. From Lake Texoma. What's going on, Lake Texoma? Good to see you in the house. T-Lo here. Ben Show. Man, lots of folks here tonight. Jason the Bass Catcher. Boy, we got all kinds of folks. Let's jump off into Kevin Van Dam. I'm so glad Kevin Van Dam is here. It makes me so happy when he's around. Let's jump off into the top 5 baits before we lose any more signal. 6 cent splashback 70 popper, man. This thing, first thing in the morning, a lot of fun. It's fall of the year. Got them cool mornings. And topwater baits are always a lot of fun. So that bait right there is a great one to turn to right now. Along with that, we're fishing shallow. They're really, I'm talking about like as of today, really started biting moving baits really good up shallow. And one of my very favorites, 6 cents movement 80X. Really shallow, running crankbait, got a really wide wobble, bounces off all kinds of cover really well. Timber, bushes, any type of wood cover bounces off really well. It can also be ripped out of grass. That's the Wild Shad Color 6 cents movement 80X. Love that bait when they start chasing moving baits up shallow. Phenomenal. If I can get this back in my hand. We did it. We did it. And how can you talk about fall fishing and fish chasing moving baits without talking about old lipless? Okay, we're back for a little while. Lipless crankbait. Can't talk about fall moving baits without talking about lipless crankbait. This is a 1/4 ounce because the grass is still really tall right now. Now, this is a rattle trap that I'm using in a 1/4 ounce size. As the grass starts to die back when it gets colder, I'm going to go to the 1/2 ounce 6 cents Quake 70 is my favorite one as the grass starts dying back. And I'll also, the colder it gets, start to use more and more of the red colors. I am using the red colors right now on the cloudy days. And then last but not least, when it gets slow, when there's no wind blowing, and you get up in that grass, that Impact Shad, rigged weedless, weightless, little 3/0 EWG hook right here, heavy wire, gets it done right now around the shallow grass. All right, now let's talk about something really fun. The fish are starting to gang up out deep. There's lots of big schools of bait getting out deep. They're mixing up. There's all kinds of species. If you throw a little jigging spoon down there, you're liable to catch a catfish, a crappie, a white bass, a yellow bass, a drum, or a largemouth, all in the same spot. When that starts happening, the old Big Joe Spates, big flutter spoon, big 7-inch hubcap, as I like to call it, throw it out there, bounce it around, swim it up, let it fall. Man, you can catch some monsters. Started catching them on this a little bit today, late this afternoon. So that bite is just getting started, and there's a lot of different baits that work in the fall. So these top 5 baits will get kind of tough because there's a lot of different ways to do it. I'll do my best to zero in on what's working best for me at the time, but we will be getting a bunch of different baits come to us that'll work, and you guys will be experiencing that as well, where it can be all kinds of topwater baits, whopper ploppers, spooks. It can be swim jigs, chatter baits. I mean, all of those could easily make the top 5 any given time. Jeremy Robinson, man, you come holler. All right, guys, so what we're going to do next week, we're going to go to a different time slot to try and solve this connection issue. I think some of it has to do with the amount of usage is getting done. More and more people streaming these days. I think the usage is an issue. So we're going to I don't know what to say. Any good fish being caught on big swim baits? I got a miss on a big swim bait. I haven't thrown it very much yet, but now is the time to start throwing it. Like, pick it up and commit to it right now. And it's already cutting out again. Pick a side of fork. I can't pick a side of fork right now. Both sides are starting to fish really good. It's that time of year where the whole lake fishes good. So I don't know what I can tell you about that other than it can be good all over the lake. Don't marry yourself to one side or the other. Explore it. It's a great time to explore and learn new areas of the lake, and you'll get bit because these fish are moving into the backs of all these creeks and pockets, and they're starting to bite really good. So check that out. Somebody says they smashed them on a lipless and a swim jig today, ripping it out of grass. Don't doubt that. We had good success this morning as far as numbers go on a lipless crankbait and grass ourselves. Turn off all other devices on Wi-Fi. Jeremy Robinson, we've already done that. I appreciate you trying to help. I looked into it last week. I'm doing everything I can. Try a different time slot. Maybe that'll help. I don't really know what's going on. Jeremy, if you'd like to contact me once this is over or next week or whenever and try to give me some advice since you work for a Wi-Fi company, I would love to hear your take on what my problems are. Berkeley weather next week. I haven't looked out at the weather. I don't know. I'm guessing you're saying there's going to be some foul weather for the Berkeley tournament. We're to the time of year where it doesn't matter. Those fish are going to bite, man. They're putting the feed bag on. The weather's not going to stop them. It just may make the shallow bite better than the deep bite. Sometimes when it gets really cloudy, the deep bite's not as good as the shallow bite. Tackle Warehouse does carry the trap I throw. When I'm using a 1/4 ounce, I use the original Bill Lewis Rat L trap. When I'm using any other size, I use the 6 cents Quake 70. Not the Thud. I do use the Thud sometimes. It's a one knocker. I like to use the old school with all the BBs. Just the old Quake 70. Tackle Warehouse does carry those. 6 Cents Fishing as well. If you go to 6centsfishing.com, be sure to punch in that code, your Lake Fork Guide. Get a 10% discount on all orders. One thing I did want to get to, met a gentleman today. He's a subscriber. Met me at the ramp. We talked for a long time. Happens to be a state trooper for the state of Texas. So we're going to do a Fish with a Subscriber giveaway for this man right here because I can't think of anyone better than a law enforcement officer that also watches the channel. I would love to give back to him. So I'm going to do a Fish with a Subscriber giveaway tonight to Mr. Nick Moore. Already been in contact with him. We will be shooting a video together soon. You guys will be seeing that. And I look forward to hanging out with him because, man, I love our law enforcement officers. All people that serve the public servants that do it with the right kind of integrity and all that, man, those guys are phenomenal. And we couldn't function without them and can't say thank you enough for their service to all of our communities. So, Nick Moore, we're going to get out there and get after him, bud. What line do I use for swim baits? I use 20-pound Seagull Red Label fluorocarbon mostly. Unless it's super heavy vegetation, then I will use braid. That's how you get out of a ticket. That's right. Thinking ahead. Our water temps 2 days ago were like 81, 82 degrees. And now today, the backs of the creeks were all the way down to 72, 73. The main lake was about 77, 78 today. Hopefully he runs a background check on me. No, hopefully he does not run a background check on me would be the answer to that. Thank you very much, T-Lo. How's the mid-lake looking? The whole lake's getting there, man. The whole lake's doing its thing. They're starting to, like I said, they spread out in the fall. You got to move around a lot to find them because they'll roam in packs. But it's that time of year. Top bait at Lake Fork right now. For numbers, probably the lipless crankbait for me, I think. Depth on Fork. Well, you can catch them shallow and you can catch them out in the main lake. The main lake, if you're fishing offshore, the depth seems to be about 16 foot is where they're wanting to set up. But you can also catch them in 0 to 2 foot in the backs of creeks. Awesome, man. We're getting a little bit of signal help. We're actually getting to stay on tonight. Appreciate you guys bearing with me. We've got a lot of people in here tonight. Really appreciate you guys' patience and sticking it out with the connection issues. Do I ever use a double fluke rig? You know what? I really don't. When I'm fishing shallow, I fish a lot of heavy vegetation. Don't fish much open water, and that double fluke rig is not ideal for the vegetation. The lake level, I'm not sure exactly. We were about 1.5 feet low, but we got more rain yesterday, and I don't know. We got a pretty hard rain. I don't know if that brought it up any. It didn't look like it did much. If anything, it's going to be a few inches. We're still going to be between 1 foot, 1.5 feet low, maybe 1.75 feet, somewhere in that range right there. Somebody asked about the lake level. Sorry I didn't repeat the question for you guys. So the rest of you knew what I was talking about. T-Lo, I will get back with you on that as soon as this is over, brother. Oh, Deshaun Watson helped you win by 102 points last week. 102 points. Man, I need to do another update on the fantasy football team because I've made a lot of trades. Let me run down a little quick fantasy football lineup for you guys because I have wheeled and dealed. Picked up free agents, traded them when they were high, bought low, sold high. I now have Deshaun Watson at quarterback. I have Christian McCaffrey and Kareem Hunt at running back. I have Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins at receiver. I got Eric Ebron and Greg Olsen at tight end. I've got both of the New England running backs, James White and Sony Michel. Yeah, your boy is stacked. I got my team is stacked. I got to do another fantasy update for you guys because I've really built a bit of an empire here going forward for the rest of the season. We've won 3 in a row, too. Lost the first 2 by a combined 1.7 points, and now we've won 3 in a row. Where's Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry is sitting on the bench of somebody else's team. Thank God I didn't draft him because I liked him in the preseason. I'm glad I did not get him on my squad. Texans defense, I actually picked them back up this week, but I had dropped them a couple weeks ago and was using some streamer Ds, and then I got the Texans back now. Yeah, man, I've been putting in the work on that fantasy football. I don't take anything lightly. I'm that type of guy that whatever I'm going to do, I put everything into it. That's just kind of how I'm built. Am I going to be at Lake Fort Tackle next week, Thursday? No, I will be on the water next Thursday, fishing with customers, and then doing a live stream for you guys, just like we are tonight. What's my thoughts on fishing the nasty weather this weekend? Man, it is what it is. If there's lightning, get off the water. But, Ben, some of those patterns that we fished last year, if you all know, Ben Shobe's asking this question. He's a kayak fisherman. And some of those patterns that we fished last year when you went on a guide trip with me, those patterns are just now kicking off again like as of today. So if you remember what some of those were, you can rerun some of that stuff and you should catch some fish on it. Yeah, I mean, the weather's the weather. I mean, those fish are already wet, guys. The wind does not hurt the bite, not one bit in the fall. They're biting moving baits. The wind makes that better. So not an issue unless it's lightning. I've never fished Richland Chambers, T-Lo. What would you use if it was not in Texas for the month of November? Well, where else am I if I'm not in Texas? Like, I need to know, am I in Michigan or am I in Florida? Because that's completely different. I need a little bit more specifics on where I am outside of Texas. Late, but here, we appreciate you joining us, Redbug Skeeter. Oh, Dark Knight is, I'm liking it, guys. I've never had a black boat before, but I'm kind of digging it. I'm feeling it a little bit. Kentucky or Tennessee? November, man, I'm gonna be cranking. And I'm just gonna, use my electronics and use my fish sense or whatever you want to call it to figure out, are the fish mostly shallow, are they mostly deep, are they some of each? But I'm definitely gonna be cranking if I'm in Tennessee and Kentucky, possibly using that big flutter spoon as well. I like lipless crankbait for shallow, and I like a flutter spoon for out deep if I'm in Kentucky and Tennessee in November. Need to make plans for Okeechobee. That's bucket list for me. I would love to be at Okeechobee. Indiana's hot now on the ADX. Dude, that ADX catches them everywhere. That moving ADX is a bad boy. Windy or more calm for pop water? I like calm water. I like calm, still water for most of my topwater baits. Even baits that people say you won't win, like a buzz bait, I've always done better in calm water on topwater baits. I think when it's calm, all that bait rises to the top. If you ever notice, when it's real calm, especially when it's sunny and calm, that bait will climb right up under the surface and kind of sit there under the surface. I think that has something to do with it, but I've always done better on top waters when it's slicked off. I need to come up to Lake Cumberland over there in Kentucky. Lake Cumberland. I actually have a friend down here, Mr. Andrew Grills, that you grew up fishing that lake a lot. ADX killed Palestine last weekend. The moving ADX, I'm telling you, catches them everywhere. It has such a wide, hard wobble, erratic action. The way it bounces off cover, it just draws bites from everywhere. It's a reaction bite. Like, I think when a fish is sitting by a stump and that moving ADX comes by and goes thunk and bounces off that stump, I don't think that fish cannot jump out. Like, he has to react to it. It's a forced reaction. What rod am I throwing my top waters on? The 611 medium heavy. Usually throw most of my top waters on 12 pound. Monofilament, Berkley big game, hard to beat for mono. Am I more of a chatterbait or a buzzbait guy? Definitely chatterbait. Chatterbait is maybe my favorite all-time bait. I mean, it really, really is consistent. Just got in House Fork fishing, still slow. No, Fork is definitely better and going to keep getting better. Like, it's going to keep improving. I've done some work. I have done some work on the fantasy team. Divine Hybrid Jig did good last weekend on secondary points. Don't doubt that. You know, jig wasn't in the top 5 baits, but it could have very well been. I like throwing a jig offshore. I like flipping the little 3/8 ounce jig up shallow. Like, the hybrid jig could definitely be in here. Like, fall, there's so many things that can work, guys. Like, move around a lot. If you're not getting activity, if you're not seeing obvious signs of activity, you're not getting bit, don't settle. Move, move, move. Keep moving, and man, you'll find them, and just fish what you're confident in. There's so many baits that work in the fall. Have I fished the 6 Sense Thuds? Yeah, 6 Sense Quake Thud and a 6 Sense Quake 70. They're the same bait, just the Thud is a one knocker and the other one is BBs like the old school traps. I had a little stretch there where I threw a lot of one knocker baits, which the Thud would be. But here the last couple of years, I've gone back to throwing all BBs. It's like we threw one knockers because they were different and sounded different. Then everybody was throwing one knockers, so I went back to rattling BB type baits, and now they've done better. So maybe here in a couple of years I'll be back on the one knockers. Who knows? Thank you very much, Kyle Henderson. Appreciate it. Any crappie fishing tips? Oh man, I have no idea. I'm sorry, bud. I do not have any crappie fishing tips. Top 5 baits again. I'll list them off real quick. So the top 5 baits. Lipless crankbait, 1/4 ounce, using shad patterns right now. On cloudy days, I'll go to the crawfish patterns. Using the 1/4 ounce because the grass is real tall. As the grass dies back, we'll go to 1/2 ounce. 6 Sense Movement 80X, Wild Shad's the color I'm using on that. 6 Sense Splashback 70. When it gets real calm and slicked off and you're fishing shallow, the Impact Shad is my go-to. And then we are going out deep. The Big Flutter Spoon by Big Joe Spates. That's starting to get some bites out deep. I'm not a fan of 6 Sense Movement. What's your opinion? You're wrong. That's my opinion. I love that bait. KVD, man, you're cracking me up, dude. As usual, KVD is bringing the comedy. Love it. Jeremy Robinson dropped some crappie intel on us. Said he killed the crappie in 10 feet of water. So crappie in about 10 feet. That's good info there. Yeah, silent trap, sometimes that can be different and that can work. Who makes the Impact Shad? It's actually Impact as in M-P-A-C-K, as in Mark Pack. He designed it, a fellow guy here at Lake Fork. Phenomenal design, new take on weightless plastics, and it's made by Impact Lures. You can find them at impactlures.com. I don't know if they're on Tackle Warehouse or not, I'm not sure. Definitely can find them on impactlures.com, and they're linked in most of my videos if you look in the description. Swim bait bite lately. Gone more to the hard baits. Now, the big swim bait bite, I did throw one a little bit the other day, and I got a hit and a miss on a big swim bait. That's coming. Like that. Now's the time. If you're a big swim bait guy, if you're a home run hitter, today is the time to pick that up and start throwing it religiously and go for that home run. Like, put it in your hands and don't put it down and fish for that one bite if that's your deal. Right now is the time to start doing that. How far is the lake turnover? Lake turnover is just finished. Like, it's done. No more. Have I tried Blue Wolf baits? I sure haven't, but I'm not sure. I have not been made aware of Blue Wolf baits. Where can you get my gear? We got these hoodies. Now, these are hoodies, like thick hoodies, not the shirts. This is the shirt. We don't have these shirts anymore. This hoodie you can get on my website, YourLakeForkGuide.com. If you're looking for other apparel that I use, the 6 Sense apparel that I wear, you can find that at 6censefishing.com. Like I said, be sure to punch in that code, Your Lake Fork Guide, in the promo box on the checkout screen. Get you a 10% discount. The hard baits. The hard baits are working better than the in person. My map chip is for sale. The Rico Popper. Rico Popper is a good product. Somebody asked about the Rico Popper. Rico Popper is good. I like this one. If you look at the splashback, it has a V shape to it. It walks easier than other poppers. Like, you can pop it almost like a spook, like a little mini spook, and make it walk. Spits a lot of water with that triangular shaped head, that cupped head. That's why I like this one. The Rico is a good popper. Yellow Magic is a good popper. This one's just a little different, and I can do a little more easier with it. So that's why I use it. Ben Show, I hear you. That's funny. Where's your next trip? My next trip is on Lake Fork. I'm on Lake Fork almost every single day. Random Skills, man, I really appreciate it. Random Skills throwing some money in the Super Chat fund, which you can do as well. And all those funds go back into the channel. Is that popper cheaper than a Rico? I think so. Yeah, it's cheaper than a Rico. Ricos are really high. First time on live, love your videos. Thank you very much, Sheldon Howie. Really, Fire Dog Jackson. That's a long... Sheldon H-Town. I like that. That's a long name, but I like it, and I appreciate you commenting right there. Thank you. Oh, long name done broke the stream. That's right. Somebody asked, do I prefer the jackhammer chatterbaits over the few other? Yeah, I really am a fan of the jackhammers. I hate how expensive they are. I don't like Z-Man as a company, but the jackhammer is a great chatterbait. I am back, and you know what? That was a long time. We've been having a lot of signal issues lately. So I tell you what, underspin. Not throwing the underspin around the grass, guys. I'm throwing the hard baits. They've kind of transitioned over to biting the hard baits a little better. I'm not saying you won't get bit on that swim bait because it's fall. A lot of things will work. But for me, the quarter ounce trap movement 80X are starting to work better than the weedless swim baits with the underspin. Big perm updates. What about it, man? It's still there. If you want a big worm, that's the one to own right there. All right, man. Really thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up before I get kicked off again. Thank you guys so much. Nick Moore, can't wait to get out and fish with one of our local state troopers that won the Fish with a Subscriber giveaway this week. Be doing that very soon, making a video with him ASAP. You guys are the best. Hope tonight helps. Hope all you guys get out there and sack them up this weekend. From now until December 1st, we're fixing to have a lot of fun. So spend as much time on the water as you possibly can because it's going to be good. And, yeah, one more time, thanks again. Come see us at the live seminar tomorrow. See you next time, right here.